What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Thank you very much for tuning in today. I'm feeling like I'm going into fight night, people, because 10 minutes before I come on here, and Aubameyang lets off the whole clip on Arteta early, people, early in the afternoon. So it's all going off as usual, man. Like I said, transfer window closes, and you think, boy, man, could be a quiet few weeks content-wise. You wake up and every day, man, the gift that keeps on giving. Aubameyang versus Arteta, people, man's, jab, all sorts going off, man. You know what I mean? Looking forward to the press conference next week when Arteta gets his chance to fight back. He probably won't say too much, but yeah, it is interesting. Big up to each and every one of you for tuning in. Yeah, man, we stand up if we hate Tottenham. You know how the ting goes already, people. Big up to each and every one of you. Make sure you lick that like button. Let's go into Xhaka mode. No more Edu mode, people. I think he's... I have to sleep to be in Edu mode. I don't think he did anything. Sidon, big up to you, man. Yo, we're about to have the biggest Amazon documentary in the history of football. Let me tell you that. This one is going to break records. Big up to Penalty Spot. Hope you're well, bro. Thank you for your ideas that you were sending over. Aubameyang as the green screen. You know, I don't even think I have him as a green screen, man. That all got deleted. When the manager kind of binned him. Yeah, we could do that one. I don't know if people are ready for that. We'll give him one more green screen before he leaves. Everyone's gonna hammer me now. Oh, you're anti Arteta for doing that. But I don't care. You know, we're a strong community, man. We hold it together. See you, net. We're moving, people. We're moving. We got lots to talk about today. As I always say, people, don't shoot the messenger. You'll have seen the title of this video. Arsenal apparently looking to spend 180 million in the summer. You know, we take that with a pinch of salt. Yeah, I'm not about to start celebrating and dancing. We know what it is. Yeah, Arsenal have just had a stinker of a transfer window. So what do they need to do? They need to put PR out that calms everyone down. So they're going to tell us, oh, well, we're about to spend 180 million in the summer. I mean, come on, do me a favor. We know that's not quite going to happen, but you know, we're going to talk about it anyway. So as I say, don't shoot the messenger. That green screen. Yeah, Kevlon, morning, Curtis from the Spice Island, Grenada. Big up to you, bro. HMT, the streets won't forget. Summer's a little bit too late. Exactly, man. Why don't you spend 80 million now? We didn't even need 180. You're anti-establishment. Yeah, man, listen, you know me, people. I want the best for Arsenal Football Club. But I don't buy into everything the club feeds us. And some people can't accept that. People think when you don't accept and smile everything that Arsenal do, that you're some sort of, you know, you're not a fan of the club. I am a fan of the club. I'm not prepared to accept the positive spins they try and put on things that aren't positive. Yeah, the new narrative now, the one we're all feeding out at the moment, this is the one that's going around at the moment. Oh, I'm actually glad they didn't sign anybody in January because it proves they wouldn't panic buy and they would only go for their first option. And they're learning. So now we're supposed to celebrate that they didn't sign anybody. That's the new one. That's the new narrative. Yeah, first it was, oh my God, we saved so much money getting rid of Aubameyang. Let's celebrate the wages. Now it's, oh, it's so good we didn't buy anybody because it means we've learned from previous mistakes. Actually, when you're in business, when you're in sport, when you're in football, you can't have a plan A. You have to have a B, a C. You know, you've got to have different options. I don't think any Arsenal fan ever felt like Vlahovic was signing for Arsenal. There was nothing from him. There was nothing from his agent that gave encouragement that this deal was going to happen. So they should have said, right, if that don't happen, we go for him. If he don't happen, we get him. We make sure it happens. Don't buy into everything this club feeds out. I love the football club as much as any other fan, and I want the best for it. But they manipulate fans badly as well. Everything Arsenal do is PR to the max. The window closed 2 days ago. So what do? Bang, put out a story, tell everyone we're going to spend 180 million. We're going to blow up the transfer market in the summer. Really? You know, remember John Cross every year under Wenger? Oh, Wenger's going to have a war chest this summer. He's going to sign Gonzalo Higuain this summer. He's going to sign Luis Suarez this summer in the biggest transfer deal Arsenal have ever done. We're getting Karim Benzema from Real Madrid. He spoke to Wenger. He's on his way, people. We know how those summers end up. Yeah, we know how them summers end up. Danny Welbeck, Lucas Perez, and Granit Xhaka. That's how them summers end up, people. So here's what it is. Next thing, new merch from Arsenal. Shameless FC at its finest. You know how the game goes, people. If their PR game was as good as their team and their manager, we'd be top of the league. That's for damn sure. But right, let's get into it. Big up to each and every one of you. Lick down that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's all going off. It's all going off, people, on social media today. Aubameyang has been announced by Barcelona. He's been announced. He's signed. The deal's been done. He's wearing the shirt and all of that. A lot of people, listen, you're not going to feel good seeing it. But it is what it is. Him and Arteta, the relationship had gone. He's took his pictures. They got loads of videos going around. He's done interviews, blah, blah, blah. He's a Barcelona player. And good luck to him. Listen, good luck to him. As I always say, man, whether you like him or not, he stayed at a time when other players walked out. Sanchez left and regretted it. Van Persie left and won the title. We've been through a lot of pain with other strikers and other players. I saw a video of him and Memphis Depay. You can imagine those two are going to enjoy themselves, aren't they? This is obviously a recurring theme, is Barcelona taking strikers offers and taking players offers. Craig said Curtis Aubameyang looks like a superstar in that kit. I do think a different kit makes a player look totally different. Like Willian never looked right in the Arsenal kit. But certain kits on certain players, you just feel like something's going to happen. I kind of just feel like Aubameyang in that Barcelona kit is going to do damage. Fabregas, he went back home, and that was another painful one. I mean, this one didn't quite work out for him. Alex Song, I don't know what, he got clowned over there, really. But Henry was painful, and Aubameyang, I just think Aubameyang is going to score goals there. I genuinely think the way they play football over there, the amount of chances they'll create. They've got Ferran Torres, Adama Traore, Memphis Depay, obviously good midfielders like De Jong and Pedri. I think he'll score goals there. So obviously it's a great move for him, and I wish him all the best. I think he'll do well. But then the clip started to get emptied, people. First thing he has said about Arsenal since leaving the football club. Social media is going crazy. He hasn't actually said that much, really. People going on like he's gone berserk with this. But, I don't think he said too much. But, all right, he pulled out the 9mm. It ain't the shotgun or the machine gun. He just gave him a little one. He said, my last few months at Arsenal were complicated. That's football sometimes. For my part, I never wanted to do anything wrong. My problem was only with Arteta. I can't say much more. I wasn't happy. I mean, we've all been waiting for something to be said. I was hoping he would say a little bit more. But we got what we got, people. He's letting people know this is purely him and Arteta, people. I mean, I would say Arteta tax, but I'm not sure everybody is. I'm not sure everybody can deal with that. Man didn't come out with. He didn't drop subliminals. Man made the full-on diss tune. That's why we call it C Unit over here, people. C Unit. Because when 50 Cent had a problem, he said your name, people. He didn't do the Jay-Z thing and, drop subliminals that you had to figure out like a jigsaw puzzle, which is kind of what Arteta does. Aubameyang just said, listen, track 3, Arteta, bang, diss track. Let's go. Window shopper settings. Sean said, big up, bro. Feels like Arteta and Edu are trying to avoid UEFA Champions League football for next season by the looks of it. They talk about the process. Us fans want it now, and we did speak about that yesterday. I agree. Shots fired, man. Man said his name. He said his name. Bap, bap, bap. Similar to what other players have done. When they fell out, they've said his name. Ozil, When Ozil was tweeting trust the process with the broken heart, Guendouzi said things about it. Arteta damaging good quality players with his ego. We will say it for you, Big C, Arteta attacks. Listen, I want people to know, listen, Aubameyang has left. We have to move on. The club have left better players behind and still managed to move on, as we said. But I do think this will still rumble on because we still don't know the reason why he left. We still don't believe that just turning up late a couple of times is the reason you were banished. I believe there's more to it. Arteta, for me, should have given more clarity when the story broke. It would have put it to bed very quick. If Lukaku was sold by Chelsea, Chelsea fans would understand why, because they know the story. They've seen the details. They know it was disrespect. We still don't know the story with Aubameyang, and he's now holding up a Barcelona shirt. And I feel like the fans deserved that explanation. You know, think how many kids have probably got Aubameyang shirts. Because let's face it, he was the biggest name at Arsenal. You know, so, you know, people are going to ask question, why is he not at Arsenal no more? Oh, he turned up late. Give us the full story, but his next press conference will be interesting. Penalty Spot said, sad thing is Arteta is building a reputation of being a hard taskmaster. Who wants to come to a club under these circumstances? No smoke without fire. Concerned we won't sign any big players. And the thing is, let's just say, for example, right, they say Jose Mourinho was a taskmaster when he was at Chelsea and Real Madrid and Inter. You're going to accept the way he is as a manager because you know there's success behind that and beyond that. You know, okay, Mourinho might be difficult to put up with. You're going to have to train, you know, 100% every day. But his CV tells you it works. There's Champions Leagues, there's league titles, there's trebles. There's players who've gone on to the top level. So you're going to be willing to put up with that because you know how successful he's been. With Arteta, being that taskmaster, but apart from the FA Cup, you haven't won anything. So why would a player trust to put up with that kind of treatment if there's nothing to go with it? There's no success that goes with that. If anything, he can pull your level down, which has happened with Pepe and Aubameyang and Ozil and players like that. Now, some of them might have been fading anyway, but you would have expected one or two of those players to thrive under him, and none of them have. Seti said, finally catching a live. Big up Curtis Shaw. Big up, bro. DJ Dre said, I rate Aubameyang even more. Man's not a fussy into this. Talk the things, man. I've seen people on social media today saying, oh, you know, he's let himself down speaking out. I think he's handled this. I'm not saying him leaving the club he handled well, but I think he's handled this situation quite reasonably, to be honest. I can tell you something. If I was a player, I'd have gone further than that. But he probably signed disclaimers and stuff that said he can't say too much. C Unit, big up, bro. I said, Arteta, you a window shopper. Mad at me. I think I know why. Oh, dear me. Oh, man. Good old days, eh? Dave said that would piss you off if Aubameyang gets a hat trick in his first game. It would. They play Atletico Madrid this weekend, Barcelona. We may have to do a watch along for that, you know. Although we'll probably be on the bench, to be honest. Let's see what else you're saying, people. Let me know. Fans deserve the truth, 100%. Abba is a gentleman about it. Tenzin said, when Arteta speaks, people say great managers don't speak out too much. If he doesn't speak, people say blah, blah, blah. Listen, I think Sir Alex used to speak out. I think Mourinho speaks out. I think Pep speaks out. You know, I think a lot of the top managers do speak out. Wenger was always quite reserved with what he said. But I think a lot of the top managers do speak out. I heard Conte speak a few weeks ago when they asked him why Ndombele wasn't in the squad. And he just said, you know, he's not training well enough and he may leave. He was very honest. So I tend to think a lot of the top managers do speak out on these situations. Chandra said, Arteta didn't win the FA Cup. Aubameyang won it for us. Listen, I've got to give credit to both of them, you know. He picks the team and the system, it worked. But obviously, Aubameyang will get the credit. He scored 2 in the semi-final and the final. Alfred said, the club have let better players go, but we haven't moved on. Sure, time doesn't stop, but the club has been going backwards and not moving on. And you make a great point. On one hand, we can say we've let better players go and we've moved on. But have we moved on for the better? Have we ever replaced Alexis Sanchez? Have we ever replaced Cesc Fabregas? Have we ever replaced Vieira or Henry? Or how many of these top players have we ever replaced? Hardly any of them. So you make a good point there. Compare what Arteta has done for Arsenal versus what Aubameyang has done. Where is the loyalty from the fans? I mean, listen, once a player leaves, people expect you to completely turn on a player. I don't really look at it like that. I like to know the full circumstances before I make a judgment. And I just don't understand why we've been kept in the dark so much. I really don't. Wenger at home, scratching his head. Emery done all the hard work getting to the FA Cup final. Arteta flunked against Southampton 2 years ago. And this year we got binned out by Forest. 100%. Aubameyang was a terrific signing. Listen, he's been quality. He really has. Obviously, he faded at the end. I wonder if Aubameyang wasn't happy with Arteta's tactics when he wasn't scoring and confronted it. Listen, it's an interesting situation. Aubameyang has spoken out. Interesting that he said, my problem was only with Arteta. So, not Edu, not the Kroenkes, not the fans, none of the players. It was with Arteta. And I told you people that, obviously, listen, I don't want to start saying names and this, that, the other, but you can see from who Aubameyang follows that he follows people who are in the industry. And the feeling was that Aubameyang was still very popular in the dressing room. And what I find very interesting is how few players have said things about Aubameyang leaving. I've seen a few. I saw Pepe do it. I've seen Ramsdale do it, and a few of the young players. But Lacazette hasn't said anything, and those two were best friends. Now, maybe he's done it behind closed doors, just rang him, yo, bro, good luck. I'm not going to do it on social media. Makes you wonder, are the clubs saying to the players, don't say much about Aubameyang? It's interesting. It is interesting. Omar J said, have you seen Aubameyang's Twitter picture? I haven't seen it. I thought he changed it to some Barcelona superhero or something. I haven't. Big up Guna Gang, man. We are finished under Arteta. Geez, when you order Pep from Wish and they send you Arteta, come on, man. He's got to deliver. He has to deliver. People saying Saka's just tweeted. Fair enough. See, timing is of the essence, people. Yeah, Saka has tweeted, actually. Funny that you said that. Big up to the community, man. Breaking news. It's nothing major, but, it was just interesting that I thought apparently he's really good friends with a lot of these players. Thank you for everything, Aubameyang, legend. And puts up their a few pictures of them. Those two, I was told, always got on very well, him and Saka. So, yeah, interesting. Good timing, people. Good for letting me know. It's just interesting that Lacazette hasn't said anything, but it is what it is. Saka's watching your stream, Salman said. Maybe. You never know. I'm telling you, a lot of these players, they do watch these streams in general. Curtis, I hope this doesn't divide the dressing room. Might affect our on-the-pitch performances. I don't think it will. They would have known what's been going on for a while. And we managed to perform still in December. I think January was just down to a lack of quality and players missing. I think the players will be over it. They would have known Aubameyang was going to leave. So I don't expect it to divide the dressing room. Football's a very selfish game, man. All of a sudden, when you're in the team, you kind of get on with it. You think, well, it's this sad how we treated him, but he's treating me good. So that's how it is. Big up to Roger Douglas. Appreciate you putting that, actually. I was gonna put that is that Arsenal versus Wolves has been moved to February the 24th, which is now a Thursday, I believe. It'll be on Amazon Prime at 7:45. This game was obviously called off earlier in the season by Wolves. So we've now got 3 games this month instead of 2, which is a little bit of an improvement. 2 games is not enough in a whole month, man. It feels like Arsenal have not played for a long, long time. Big up to Roger. Denny said, Big C watching the live stream at work. Appreciate all the great content. Wish you nothing but success, brother. Thank you for your kind words. And big up to the whole community, as always, for the support. Games rescheduled at last. Obviously, we still haven't rescheduled the game against Tottenham, so that will have to be dropped in somewhere as well. So we are waiting for that one, as Woodgate saying. Big up One Rovers vlog. Big up Curtis, always on the grind. Keep smashing the content. Keep up your good work as well with Bristol Rovers. Troy said, hated Doozy, Saliba, Pepe, and Aubameyang, but loves Xhaka. Ah, man. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? What can I say? It's he definitely has a problem with some of these guys. Sean F, how's it going, Curtis? Also, did you happen to watch the Glasgow derby? Come on, Celtic. I see Celtic won, was it 3-0? Light work in the end. I thought it'd be a closer game. I didn't watch the whole game, though, to be honest. So, yeah, I can't really tell you the details. I'm assuming Rangers just got battered. Van Bronckhorst, obviously former Arsenal player, is their manager. Big up Reggie Forts, who said, bagged under Wenger, bagged under Emery, doesn't bag under the cone man. You do the maths. Bagged under Thomas Tuchel as well, you know. Big up Alfred with a super chat. That they all liked Aubameyang. He's a very likable person. Aubameyang made it fun. The front flips, the Black Panther mask, his smile was contagious. I genuinely believe, and I went on the Arsenal lounge last night. It was a bit last minute, and there was saying something about how Ian Wright was continuously late when he played for Arsenal. And what I think has happened, I think Arteta walked into this club. Aubameyang was doing the business. And the club said, we've got to renew his contract. He's our best player. He's the top goal scorer. We're going to keep him at all costs, 300 grand. You could see from day one, when Arteta settled in the second season, you could see that Arteta didn't want to play with a striker like that. He doesn't want that kind of striker. He doesn't want a striker that plays whip for the 18-yard box and he's a poacher. He wants a striker that drops deep, that links play, probably similar to like Bobby Firmino at Liverpool. You've seen Aubameyang many times play on the left for Arteta, running up and down, defending. Doesn't suit his game. When he plays up front, we're putting crosses into the box. Doesn't suit his game. The two combinations were never a fit. The only time it worked for Aubameyang under Arteta is when we played 3-4-3 and Aubameyang played left forward, which is kind of where Mane plays for Liverpool with less defensive responsibility. As soon as he went to 4 at the back, Aubameyang was either on the left, where you have to defend more in a 4, or through the middle with the wrong kind of service. It was never going to work. Unfortunately, it wasn't going to work. When you look at the way Leicester use Vardy, plays on the shoulder, they hit you on the counter-attack. As soon as they get the ball, they're hitting it into space. That's how Vardy plays. He's always played like that. I played against him in the lower leagues. He just runs non-stop. That's how he plays. You start putting 30 crosses in, Vardy's going to look garbage. He's not good in the air. So I just genuinely think once Aubameyang stopped scoring on a regular basis and he gave Arteta that excuse of turning up late, he was always going to move him on. He was always going to use that as the opportunity because, as I said, this club is very PR-based. And Arteta wanted to make sure when I get rid of Aubameyang, I want it to be that it's his fault. A lot of managers do that. They want it that when I sell a big player, I'm not the bad guy because I'm going to say, look, Aubameyang, it was his fault. He turned up late. He was the captain. So then all the negative energy is put onto him. And Aubameyang does have to take that responsibility. Nobody forced you to turn up late. And Arteta does drive a hard bargain. As I said before, if Aubameyang had 15 goals this season, I'm pretty sure we would have never heard about this story. But when you've got 4 goals, all of a sudden, managers won't protect you in the same way. I just think it was a bad fit from day one. If you've got Aubameyang, you've got to use him in a certain way. And I don't think Arteta ever really built his attack around Aubameyang, which when you've given someone 300 grand a week, to me, you should build your attack around them. And it's a shame because clearly they did get on at one stage, you know, when they won the FA Cup, you know, they put up pictures with each other and stuff like that. But listen, I think this will wrangle on people. I think it will wrangle on and we will hear more about it. You know, I'm sure in his press conference next week, Arteta will be asked questions about it. Name Block said Arsenal PR pushing anti-Aubameyang distraction to the idiot. I mean, listen, I don't want to call any fan an idiot, but I know what you're saying. That when the focus is on one thing, Arsenal are very good at trying to refocus you on something else. And it's PR people. That's what they're good at. 2,500 of you in the chat right now. Absolutely amazing numbers. Really appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button. Can we hit 1,500 likes? It would really be helpful. And subscribe if you haven't already. We want to hit 50K by the end of the season. And like I said, people, we'll always speak the harsh reality on this channel. Sometimes it may be too much for some people. Some of you will appreciate it. I always try and keep it balanced. I don't want people to think I'm being anti-Arteta. He is the manager. He's the guy that if we're going to be successful, we have to put our faith and our trust in. I just think whenever you get into a situation like this with a player, it's very important that you understand the full story. And I think it's a shame that we don't know. But it is what it is. Aubameyang firing shots at Arteta, and I cannot wait for the press conference next week. Let me tell you, that will be an interesting one. So we'll have to see on that. Arteta protects who he wants to protect. And it's a natural thing. It happens. It happens in an office. It happens on a building site. It happens in a supermarket. The manager will protect the people that they like. And sometimes you don't know why they like them. You think, well, you're not even that good at your job. But their personalities may just work. They may get on well, you know. On a football pitch, you know, you'll have players who, oh, Gaffer, do you want me to pick up the cones, or do you want me to collect the balls afterwards? Or, you know, little things like that. You'll be surprised what players do to keep in favor with managers. As I said, my son's in a football academy now. I've seen parents giving coaches Christmas presents. Why are you giving them Christmas presents? They're not your friend. You don't know them. You're trying to keep them sweet, you know? It's the way the game goes, people. So it is what it is. It's going to be double syrup settings next week, 100%. It's going to be pure syrup all over the place, people, which is interesting, you know. But I'm sure he will politician his way out of the answers. You know, he won't say anything too controversial in terms of firing shots back at him. But it'll be interesting. I am looking forward to that. That is for sure. Let's move on. Let's talk about the... Let's talk about the transfers. And as I said, for anybody that's just tuned in, first of all, I apologize. I'm not a guy that likes to clickbait at all when it comes to the titles and stuff like that. But this is the headline that's being ran with all over the place. I don't write the news. I just report it, people, and we discuss it and break down whether we think it's right or not. Arsenal have thrown this story out, and it is in the Sun newspaper saying that we're ready to spend £180 million this summer. I mean, you literally couldn't write it, apart from the Sun newspaper. You couldn't write it. You know, they're gonna spin this thing that, oh, don't worry that we didn't buy a striker. We're gonna spend 80 million on one in the summer. Before we get into the story, let's get into a few of your comments. Jashar said, big up, Curtis. People forget that Aubameyang did the business in the cup games when Arsenal played 3-4-3 with Ainsley at left wing-back in a counter-attacking style. Yeah, he did. Gambian Guna, big up, bro. Don't hate the game, hate the player. Hey, I'm telling you, man, some people will be successful acting like that. I just can't. It's probably one of the reasons for me that my own football career didn't go the way I would have wanted it to go, because the politics. There's so much politics in the game, and I just wasn't ready to play those games. PR news of us spending 180 million so you can back the team. Then summer comes, they don't spend. It's quagmire. You know how it goes. Oh, don't worry, we're going to spend 180 in the summer. And then you get to the summer and, you know, we sign some nobody. I'm in. Thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on Julian Alvarez to Man City? Cheap bit of business. Why couldn't we have gone after him? He looks a talent. Haven't seen much of him, to be honest. And but listen, Pep doesn't get many transfers wrong. And he looks a good player. Scored a lot of goals over there for River Plate. Reggie said, Curtis, you've always been straight in your views and balance, which is why I'm a subscriber. It's easy to hate and hope the team becomes terrible so that you can be right. Yeah, listen, I'm not one of these people, man. I don't want to sit here and say, I told you so. I want the club to prove us wrong. I've been more than happy to eat humble pie over Aaron Ramsdale. I was bantering that guy off, calling him, Aaron Dingle, Aaron Emmerdale when we signed him. I said I didn't want him and we'd overpaid for him. He's been excellent this season. He'll get all the credit he deserves from me. And it's that simple. If Arteta gets us top 4, I'll eat humble pie happily as well. He'll get a green screen. But until then, I'll continue to start streams with funny pictures of Mikel Arteta. So we move people. Dre said, "Hey, L. Curtis, do you give the manager any gifts or not?" No, I'm not giving him no gifts. Yeah, the football talent, that's the gift, man. If that ain't enough, then we move, man. I ain't buying, man, no gifts. You know what I mean? We move people. Aaron Dingle settings, man. Emmerdale. Steve said, get Saliba back, go for Isaac or Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Basuma in the summer. What I will say, because I don't just want to, hammer everything that the club is doing. I look at this Arsenal team at the moment and I think to myself, you get a top quality midfielder to go next to Thomas Partey. You hope that brings out more of Thomas Partey's quality. You get a striker that can bang goals and link it all together a little bit better. Get a couple of good squad players in so our backups are a little bit better. And I think we've got a decent team there. But you've got to get more out of the team. You've got to get more. You can't afford Thomas Partey to be that inconsistent. You can't afford your striker to be on 3 goals. It's going to be interesting. But let's get into the story anyway and see what you guys think. Are you buying into any of it? I'm not. It sounds like John Cross. Every year he told us Wenger had a war chest and he never did. Arsenal are planning the biggest spending spree in their history. With up to 180 million budgeted for summer signings, Stan Kroenke is keen to show his faith in manager Mikel Arteta by providing the funds for a major squad upgrade, reports Mark Irwin. Now, I'm going to apologize for one or two things before we break this down. First of all, the story comes out of the Sun newspaper. I think you know my beliefs on that newspaper, so I apologize for that. Second of all, they're very clever how they've worded this. Have you ever been in a shop and it says up to 70% off and you go in the shop and you're like, yo, I like this jacket. Is this 70% off? They go, oh, no, it's only got 10% off. It's up to 70% off. It doesn't mean it is 70%. They've worded it nicely, with up to 180 million, so they're probably not going to spend 180 million is what you're telling us, really. So they've worded it nicely. They've worded it nicely. We won't spend 180 in my opinion. This is PR in full effect. And Arsenal are the masters of it. They really are. Like you said, Matty, Arteta is staying then. I would say, barring a capitulation where Arsenal end up finishing 9th or 10th and we lose 5 games in a row, I would say Mikel Arteta will be Arsenal manager next season. They want him to stay. If he does anything half decent, they will even justify him finishing 7th. They will go, we finished 8th, now we're 7th, Unless we absolutely disappear out of this top 6, he will be the Arsenal manager next season, in my opinion. And these kind of stories are where my frustration comes from with the football club, because a lot of fans buy into this. Because they love the club so much. They get blinded by the light. The weekend settings, man, they're blinded by the lights. Ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. And then they throw out stories like this, and we don't buy the players they're telling us. 180 million. So the story, as I said, coming out the Sun. Arsenal set for biggest ever transfer splurge with Isaac Calvert-Lewin. It goes on to say a certain Ruben Neves. The story continues with, Arsenal have not completely ruled out the prospect of offering a 12-month contract extension to Lacazette, but are aware that Lyon are preparing to offer their former striker a long-term deal. William Saliba, Pablo Mari, and Folarin Balogun are expected to return to the club. I mean, let's be honest. Lacazette won't take a 1-year deal at Arsenal if Lyon are offering 2 or 3. So how have you waited this long to figure out whether you wanted to keep Lacazette or not? This is what I don't understand by the decision-making at the football club. Surely you would have known 6 months ago, a year ago, whether you wanted Lacazette. You sit down before clubs are able to speak to him and you say, we want to keep you a year, 2 years, or you say, we're not going to keep you and we'll sell you. Now he's being offered deals. His contract runs out in June and you're trying to say, oh, we'll give you a year. He's not going to take a year. He's going to go Lyon and get 2 or 3 years. So, you know, the decision-making is crazy. Also, the rest of the story, Saliba, Pablo Mari and Balogun. Why are you bringing Pablo Mari back? No disrespect, but why are you bringing Pablo Mari back to Arsenal? For what? He's not good. He got ruined by Lukaku. He's never been the same since. You know, so I don't buy into it. I just don't buy it. Saliba and Balogun are expected as well. Expected. You know, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. So I don't get it. Kai said, Curtis, can you do Europa League? Oh. That's the dream now, people. I told you, forget Champions League. I've given up on Champions League. There's no point. There's no point. Just give me Europa League, man. We'll take Thursday nights. We're ready for it, people. He'll spend 180 million on potential. Lacazette is gone. We should have taken that Roma money. And this is the thing, bro. This is the thing, you know. We had 25 million, apparently. 25 million euros put on the table. So I don't get it. I don't get it. We turned down 25 million euros to let him go for free in a year. And with 4 months to go, you want to offer him a 1-year contract. Why? You should have made this decision a year ago. It doesn't make sense. Classic theme tune, man. I haven't seen Champions League music at Arsenal for that long. When we went in the Europa League, I didn't even know the theme tune to the Europa League. I knew nothing. Now, you know, I know it like the back of my hand. You know, that's our competition now. Yeah, the Champions League music is too much for the Emirates, man. They'll blow up the speakers. We ain't ready for that. Real Madrid are looking at Saliba. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. And Ketia to get the number 14 shirt after signing the contract. That'll be me done. That'll be, if he gets the 14 shirt, we move. We go to something else. We'll do FIFA. We'll do hip hop. We'll do PSG. I'm done it. Matt said, Curtis, we have to say we're bringing Pablo Mari back because if the club say he's rubbish and don't want him back, they won't be able to get any money from him. I mean, they don't have to go that far, but they don't have to say they're bringing him back. They haven't said they're bringing back Hector Bellerin. Jack, you know it, man. We all remember it. We've been in there that long. In fact, we're not even in there no more. Barcelona watch-alongs. I actually might do one this week. I'm not sure if it's on telly, but they play Atletico. It would be interesting to see how he got on. The only thing is, I think Aubameyang will be on the bench because he hasn't played for a while, has he? In the latest Arsenal training video, Arteta seemed to interact with Pepe. Hopefully he gets more playtime. Yeah, he's probably saying, listen, mate, you see you in the summer, mate, I'm selling you. Your mate Aubameyang's gone. Lacazette ain't getting a new contract. Guendouzi's gone and you're next. Yeah, now smile for the camera. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, it's all PR, man. He knew the count. There was that. I'm rolling in 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, let me smile and put my arm around Pepe. Don't buy into all that. Yeah, pure cap for the video, man. He knew what he was doing, man. Remember what they told us 2 weeks ago? Oh, Arteta's flown to America to demand more money. He's going to blow up the transfer market. He's going to get Vlahovic and Ruben Neves. And what did we end up with? You know, Austin Powers and Tina Turner. You know, that's who we got from the MLS. So, no, man, I don't buy into that PR. Oh, he had his arm around Pepe on the training video. I seen Thomas Partey putting free kicks in the top corner in training videos. He goes to the Emirates and starts hitting pigeons on the top of the roof. So I don't buy into that. Oh, man. Arsenal and PR, man. They're the masters of it, man. I'm telling you. They are the masters. HMT said Aubameyang's Spanish is saucy. I believe he's fluent in Spanish, to be honest. I think his mum is half Spanish. Curtis knows all the tactics. Come on, man. We know the PR stunts that Arsenal play, man. You can't fool me with that no more, man. The hug of Judas. You know what I mean? Pepe v Sunderland was lit. Yeah, can he do it in the Prem? Is he going to get game time? Training Kit FC. Hey, Pepe, you're gone, my G. You know what I mean? They know what they're doing, man. You know what I mean? Austin Powers and Tina Turner we got from the MLS. That was the window that, you know, we thought he flew to America to go and get 100 million in the suitcase and come back with it. Man said, listen, mate, the best I can do for you, Mikel, I've got a centre-back at one of my clubs, right? Austin Trusty. Have you heard of him? No, I've never heard of him. Okay, well, you can have him. You can have him. Give me some money, bit of money laundering between the clubs that he owns. I'll give you Austin Trusty in the summer, mate. That's all you're getting. Yeah, that's all you're getting. I do one. Get out of my sight. I'm trying to win the Super Bowl here. Get out of here. That's how it probably went down, man. And by the way, there's your 2-year contract. And I do one. Trust the process. You know what I mean? What's love got to do with it? Tina Turner business, man. I'm telling you, man. And Austin Powers, yeah, baby, yeah. The new centre-back. These man got Varane and Van Dijk. We're signing Austin. Oh, man, forget it, people. Forget it. We're the kings of PR. You know how it goes, people. Let me continue with this story. You're getting me distracted here. But they are hoping to raise around 70 million by selling other on-loan players, such as Guendouzi, Torreira, Bellerin, Maitland-Niles, Reece Nelson, Runarsson, and Mavropanos. See, I told you what the guy just said in the story. He said, they can't say they're selling Mari. Well, they said they're selling these guys. I believe Torreira, there is already an agreement, 15 million euros. Guendouzi will go for 10 million. That's already there. So that's 25 million for Guendouzi and Torreira, which is ridiculous. We should be getting way more than that. Bellerin, I don't know how much you would get for him. He is having a decent season, though, to be honest, from what I've heard. Ainsley, if Mourinho likes him, maybe you get 15. Nelson, I don't know how he's doing, to be honest. Runarsson, I mean, come on. Like, why would you even put that in the title? What are you going to get for him? A packet of Space Raiders and a chomp, and a box of, you know what I mean, bag juice. You ain't getting nothing for him. We might have to pay them to take him. Mavropanos, I think there's already a deal for 3.5 million, so that ain't going to work either. So I can't. This is Edu you're talking about. He won't get 70 million for that list. He'll probably get about £8 for that list. You know how bad this guy is. Arsenal Fashion Club. And Ketia is scoring 50 goals in training. Can't even raise 7 million for that. Look, do you know what I mean? This guy is handing out everyone. Trade Runarsson for a Fredo. I mean, the Fredo's probably worth more than Runarsson. I can't lie. At least a Fredo, it satisfies what you want. You need a bit of chocolate. What's Runarsson going to do? Old Butterfingers. Curtis, do you really want to hear the Champions League theme and see Rob Holding as captain? No, I've given up on that. I can't lie, man. I'm prepared to accept Europa League. I said it yesterday, man. You give me 6th place in the Premier League now, I'll take it. We end the season and we move to next year. I'll take it. It sounds unambitious, people. I'm just being honest. On one hand, you look at it, you go, all right, we could get top 4. I don't think we will. Then you go, all right, at least get top 6 so we're back in Europa League. But the worry is you either end up in that Conference League, which is an embarrassment. I'd rather not be in it. Or you end up out of Europe altogether. And I don't know where we're going to land right now. So you give me top 6, I'll shake your hand, keep it moving. See you next Thursday, people, against Dundalk. I'll keep it moving. Bag juice settings, man. You know, people. You man know, man. You man know. Enough times I'm in Jamaica at the traffic lights. Man's just walking, got the window down. Man's just walking up and down the room. Bag juice, bag juice. You know what I mean? That's all these men are worth. Little bag juice, man. Runarsson played one game and they said, yep, you're gone. I mean, I'd love to know the guy that recommended Runarsson. Like, what on earth did they see in that guy to sign him? Curtis, can you imagine Trusty on the back of your Arsenal jersey? I'm almost certain someone will do it. Trusty the process, man. Trusty the process. Oil Club Arsenal. We could do with some oil, man. I'm telling you. We need that oil. We need that oil, man. Jimmy said, I'm from Dundalk. Hey, big up Jimmy, man, from Dundalk. Hopefully we'll be playing you next year in the Europa League. Maybe not. You'll probably be in it. I can't guarantee if we'll be in it. We might have to move to the Irish League, man. You know what I mean? Move the club. He moved the Rams from St. Louis to LA. Let's go Ireland. And then we'll win the league. I think you get Champions League qualifiers. That's not a bad idea. Put Arsenal in Dublin, win the Irish League, Champions League qualifiers, unbeatable, invincible. The goalkeeping coach recommended Runarsson. Oh, dear me. Absolutely crazy. I don't want that Conference League. It would be so typical of Arsenal to qualify. You could see it, couldn't you? We've been bantering off Tottenham all season for landing in that foolish competition. And then if we landed in it, the Athletic are writing more articles, man. They're at it right now with the PR. They really are. Let me get this story up. They're talking about the summer transfers again that we're probably not going to get, but we'll discuss it anyway. So they're saying here that it is possible other names could enter the frame on the club's shortlist of strikers, but the Athletic expects Arsenal to maintain interest in their two top targets, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Alexander Isak, or Isak. I keep getting that guy's name wrong, but you know what I'm talking about anyway. So we're going to put a poll up. Why not? Let's get a poll up. If there are two top targets, which one would you prefer? Isak or Calvert-Lewin? So let's get a poll up. They're apparently the two top targets. They were mentioning Jonathan David a lot before, but that one seems to have just disappeared. I just think, I get the impression they're going to go for Calvert-Lewin. I can't lie. I think that's who they're going to go for. I've heard a lot of things saying that Arsenal want this guy before, and apparently he's keen on the move. Calvert-Lewin or Alexander Isak. Who would you prefer, people? Let me know. That'll be an interesting one. I think that one will be close. Let me know. Let me know. People saying we need both. Vishash said Isaac all day. McLaughlin, Calvert-Lewin. Isaac is not ready. Brian said Calvert-Lewin. See you, Nick. Tim said love from Nairobi. Big up, bro. Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin. I have to admit, I would go Calvert-Lewin out of the two of them. I'll tell you why I'd go for Calvert-Lewin ahead of Isak is because he knows the league, and I think the only thing is he gets injured a lot. He does get injured a lot, but he's outstanding in the air. Honestly, I've seen this guy play twice at the Emirates. He wins so many headers. His hold-up play and his ability in the air is second to none. He's not prolific, but then Isak is not prolific either. You know, they're 15 goal a season strikers. Just out of the two, I'll be honest, I would go Calvert-Lewin. The only thing that worries me with Calvert-Lewin is the injuries. He's getting muscular injury problems as well, which is worrying. Big up Fran in the chat. Hope you're well, my bro. Make sure you go and subscribe to him. Let me know if you're on today as well. I'll promote that. He said, yes, people. Arteta will be exposed, as we all said. It's definitely starting to heat up, people. Starting to heat up. Aubameyang starting to talk, and I'm sure he will say more as time goes on. Big C, where's the second channel? Soon land, bro. It's all on its way. It's all on its way. Harvey said, yo, Big C, hi to all as well. For me, I feel as high as I rate Calvert-Lewin, the ceiling is higher for Isaac. I just think the risk is greater with Isaac than Calvert-Lewin. And I think when you spend big money sometimes, you have to minimize the risk. I think Isaac could come here and be bang average, but he could be spectacular. Where I think with Calvert-Lewin, you know you're going to get certain things out of his game that we need. He's very good in the air, and we put 30 crosses in against Burnley. There were considerable internal debates at Arsenal's shortlist of three strikers, Vlahovic, Isak, and Calvert-Lewin, who represented the best option. The reason Vlahovic was pursued most aggressively is that it was felt he was the most attainable in mid-season. I mean, that's interesting. They felt it was the most attainable, but Isaac had a release clause. So in reality, we could have just turned up at La Liga headquarters any day of that month, dropped the bag and took the player. Vlahovic, we knew that he wanted Juventus. You know, his agent never really said anything that was positive about Arsenal. So if anything, I would have said Isaac was the most attainable, but they didn't want to pay the release clause, which I do actually think Isaac is not worth 70 million, if we're being honest. Christian said, did you hear that Liverpool and Man City may go for Saka? We are going to talk about that. Big up to you, Christian. And I can't say I'm surprised. I spoke about this yesterday. Clubs will cherry pick these youngsters if we continue on this mediocre climb. Clubs won't just sit there and allow players to sit at Arsenal if they feel they can help them. Fran said he's not on today. I'm assuming you'll be back on tomorrow. Celestine said, what second channel? Second channel soon come, people. Whether it's on Twitch or YouTube, we are going to start a second channel ASAP. Let's continue anyway. A deal for Calvert-Lewin was always seen as a non-starter in January, but Arsenal's interest is long-standing and ongoing. Several influential voices within Arsenal's recruitment structure continue to push his case strongly. Calvert-Lewin, I think he'll be the main option, I got to admit, because he's so good in the air. He knows the Prem, Everton. Apparently, he's a fan of Arsenal, although I did hear he was a Sheffield United fan, but he's tweeted things about Arsenal in the past, and you know the fan base loves things like that. So it sounds like the club really like what Calvert-Lewin represents as a player. Alfred said Champions League is an injury-prone Lacazette. Oh, Calvert-Lewin, sorry, not Champions League. Calvert-Lewin is an injury-prone Lacazette. I think his physical attributes are better. I think he's more mobile and athletic, and certainly a lot better in the air than Lacazette. I think Calvert-Lewin is better than Lacazette, I got to be honest. Curtis, Calvert-Lewin will be a very good fashion model for the jersey. Listen, I'm not going to say too much. I've seen some of his outfits, and, I'm not in favor of all of them. Let's just say that. But listen, freedom, do what you want. But can you imagine the PR with Calvert-Lewin wearing a pink handbag and that? Oh, man. You can see the training kits and the posters already, can't you? Arsenal did explore the possibility of a deal for Isaac in January, but stopped short of paying his release clause as they feel it exceeds his true market value. If Arsenal resume their interest in the summer, they will again seek to negotiate a better price. Listen, I say one thing. I don't think Isaac is worth 70 million. I wouldn't have paid it for him either. But we backed ourselves into a corner where it was like, you need to get somebody in. You need to help what we've got. Swole said Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins, I don't know, maybe I'm harsh. I just don't see it with him. I don't see it with Ollie Watkins. Some people rate him. I just think he's an average player. You get your 10 goals a season. I just don't really rate him. Graham said Curtis, Patrick Schick and Jonathan David would be better options than the two you have mentioned. Could probably buy the two of them for the cost of Isaac. And I agree. I like those two. I thought Patrick Schick had a very good Euros. He's had a great season so far. In Germany, I think he's got 17 goals. And Jonathan David, I like him. I think he's decent. Scored again last night for Canada. They're on the verge of World Cup qualification, I think, for only the second time. He's a second top scorer, I believe, in the French league. I like him. And I think you'd get him for 40, 50 million rather than 70 million. From the coolest captain to the coolest skipper. Vlahovic's high goal tally in a league like Serie A says it all. Isaac is a 35 million max when looking at his average goal record, considering he plays in a league where Messi scored 60 plus. Sign Curtis Shaw if only. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Isaac at 70 million is overrated. Falalu said Jamaica lost. I prefer not to speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. Stayed up late, and once again, we bottled it. That's World Cup qualification out the window. It's hard, man. You support Arsenal, and then international break, you're trying to support Jamaica. There's no respite, man. Give me a break. It is what it is. I might have to start watching cricket or tennis or something. Send Pepe and 20 million to Lille. They would probably be on that. The probably thing is they can't afford his wage. His wage is massive now. Gunnar Blog said a top 4 place is up for grabs. But my impression is that Arsenal would consider a return to the Champions League for the 2022-23 season as being ahead of schedule. A top 6 place would not only keep Arteta at the club, it would almost certainly mean a new contract. Now, for anybody who watched my show yesterday, that is the exact thing I was saying. That's the exact thing I was saying. This club, in my opinion, do not... I won't say they don't want Champions League, but they're not pushing for it. Because Champions League brings expectation. It brings, you've got to have a bigger and better squad. Even if you're in Europe in the Europa League, you can get through that group stage without really having to stretch your squad. You can play youngsters and still win that group. Champions League, you got to go hell for leather every week. We haven't got the squad for it. They don't want to put the money in and invest in the players. And I said this yesterday, a top 6 place would not, it would get Arteta. Arteta will get a new deal if we finish top 6. 2-year contract. They'll spin the PR on us. They'll say next year, right now we want Champions League. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Why not do it a year ahead of schedule? What damage does it do to you? Kroenke don't want to spend the money. Doesn't want to spend the money, people. Now, people say, okay, he spent 150 million last year. There were rumours that he took out a £100 million loan last year against the club. So in theory, that's 50 million. Now, that 50 million probably didn't come out of his pocket because we sold players, we released players, we would have earned money because the fans were back in the stadium, the position you finish in the league. So in theory, he probably didn't spend any money in the summer. He just managed it in a certain way. So that for me is damaging and that is worrying, that comment. And I said this all yesterday. I don't think Arsenal really want top 4. They want to trickle over at a slow and steady pace that is not going to stretch the owners financially. And as an Arsenal fan, I think that is disgraceful. I'm sorry. I think that's disgraceful. When you drop out of the Champions League, it shouldn't take you 5 years to get back in. That says that you haven't managed the situation well enough. From your Gunners Yard to yeah, baby, yeah. I'm telling you, from Mesut to Austin Powers, people. Curtis Dusan said he wanted a club with a winning mentality. I saw the interview while it was written. And he's firing shots, man. Come on. He knows, man. Juventus want to win. We ain't trying to win. We're just trying to be in the race. That's it. Guna Gang, maybe they're unsure about Mikel and Edu going all out. But they're backing him. They want to give him a new contract. If they was unsure, they should leave him until the summer and then put his job on the line, but they're not. They're going to probably give him that deal. It wouldn't surprise me if Arteta signed that contract and they've just put it in the desk. LA Rams. The deal's done. We'll announce it in the summer. We'll go on a 5-game unbeaten run and they'll announce it. Sports Genius said, Big C, the NFL is being sued by coaches for owners paying them 100K to lose games right now. I would not be surprised if Stan is doing the same with Arteta. That's some crazy news, man. That is some crazy, crazy news coming out. I did hear about that. But yeah, we'll have to see on that one. But that is a worrying comment, man. That is a worrying comment. Why should we have to wait another year or two to get in the Champions League? You got to look at the reality, people. Manchester United are going to appoint a manager in the summer. So they will give their manager money to spend this summer. So they might be a different animal next season, Man United, if they get Poch or Ten Hag or someone like that. City, Chelsea, Liverpool, they're gone. They're miles away from us. We can't even see those clubs. So how do you, Conte would have been promised money to spend, I'm sure. So how do they feel they're going to break into that top 4? This year is probably a better year than next year to get into the top 4. So it doesn't make sense. Anubis said Richarlison is better than all of them. Would you take Richarlison at Arsenal? That would be an interesting one. Costa said, Big C, I'm Swedish. Isaac is not ready. There's a reason he signed a big contract at Sociedad. That is interesting. Appreciate your insight. Pat said Newcastle will be in the mix next season as well. They'll go for it. They're not here to mess about. Nazir said it's a 5-year plan. It's crazy. We shouldn't have to wait that long, but it is what it is. Curtis, who would you sign if you were given 180 million? You're putting me on the spot here, aren't you? Get a midfielder. Get a centre midfielder. Listen, I like Basuma. I just think that court case hanging over him is the reason why clubs won't sign him. I believe he's got 12 months left on his deal. If Basuma's court case is cleared and he's cool by the summer, I'll go and get Basuma because I think you get him for 30, 40 million with a year left. I would definitely take him. We need a striker. It depends what competition we're in. I like Jonathan David. I like Patrick Schick. I like Ruben Neves as a midfielder. If he felt we needed more of a ball player, which Basuma can ball, but he's not a ball player, I would take Ruben Neves. I think he's been very good this season. A couple of years ago, Man City were looking at him for 60 million. The striker one is the tricky one. I can't lie. There's options out there. Schick, David, Calvert-Lewin. There's got to be others around Europe as well. But someone, and then we need a couple of squad players as well. I'd actually get 2 strikers. I would honestly, and I said this before, I would sign Divock Origi in the summer. He's a free transfer in the summer. And I know a lot of you might think, what, Origi? You've got to have a first choice and a second choice. So you don't say that to the player. You want them to compete. But I would sign Divock Origi. I think that is a very good second striker. Scores goals, important goals. He's tall, scores headers, got a point to prove. Free agent as a second choice. Don't go crazy. I know a lot of you be thinking, what? Divock Origi? We're not going to buy 2 £70 million strikers because we only play one up front. Lautaro Martinez is one that I would go for again, by the way, if Inter don't. And Osimhen's another one. I would go for Osimhen. I would go for Lautaro Martinez. And I would go for Jonathan David or Calvert-Lewin. Probably one of those 4. I'd go for Osimhen and Lautaro first. And I would take Origi as backup. It's a no-brainer. You don't want to be in a situation where you're bringing Nketiah off the bench. I would rather be bringing Origi off the bench. You're not going to get a great striker and have him on the bench. Patrick Schick as well. Yeah, definitely. I would take it. I'd take Origi and Schick and use Martinelli up top. I'd be all over that. Bonjour. We missed the trick with Arthur Cabral, 100%. 23 years of age, 6'1", Brazilian international, 15 million euros. Got 31 goals in the last year. Origi has scored in Champions League final. Arsenal fans, by the way. Listen, I'm telling you, sometimes people don't see the vision of what you're saying. People are just thinking, Origi, I don't want Origi. He's on the bench at Liverpool. Break down what kind of player he is and what he does. This guy has scored massive goals for Liverpool. Champions League against Barcelona. Champions League final against Spurs. He scores important goals. I actually think there is a 15-plus goal striker in Origi if he played every week. If he played every week for Liverpool, I think Origi would get 15-plus goals in the Prem. I'm not talking about first choice at Arsenal. I'm talking about bringing him in to compete with your expensive £70 million striker. No brainer. Origi on a free. Come on. Take him all day long. All day long. Let me tell you something. Origi would score more goals than Lacazette. Simple as that. He'd score more goals than Lacazette. Lacazette's got 3 goals and we're in February. I would take Origi all day long on a free. Not as the first choice. Go and get Lautaro Martinez or someone like that as first choice. Origi as second choice all day long. No brainer. Let's get into one or two more stories before we round up, people. Do you know what? Let me know your strikers. If we need 2 strikers this summer, who would you sign? If you're watching this afterwards, put it in the comments after. Who would you sign? Just bear in mind, the club aren't going to buy 2 really expensive strikers. It doesn't make sense. According to Mark Ogden, he said Liverpool and Manchester City are both watching the progress of Bukayo Saka at Arsenal and could make a move if the Gunners fail to qualify for the Champions League. Just as I said yesterday again, people, it's all right saying trust the process. We need 4 years, 5 years to build this great team. People will cherry pick when they need replacements. When Man City, Mahrez is 30, they'll need a replacement soon. Mane's 30 or nearly 30. Liverpool will want a replacement. Maybe Luis Diaz gets us away with it with Liverpool. Clubs will come and take him. And as I said, at the moment, Saka might love it at Arsenal. But when you go on international duty and Foden's talking about winning the league and Mason Mount's talking about winning the Champions League, that's when players start to think different. Fabregas always used to, things got a little bit shaky every time he went on international duty with Spain because all these players were winning big trophies. This is where you've got to protect your assets and you've got to perform. That you can pull that whole puzzle apart by Man City 1 year going, okay, we'll give you 75 million for Saka. You know how this club operates. They're a business. This is a guy that came through the youth setup. I think if someone dropped 75 million on Saka, I think the Kroenkes would accept it. And this is where the worry is. Rafael Leao and Sandro Tonali at AC Milan. That Leao is being linked with a lot of moves at the moment. Big up to David. Nelson said, would you play Saliba, White and Gabriel with 2 wing-backs? Get Lamptey. We had more success with that formation. It did work. I just think he wants to play 4 at the back. I think he sees 3 at the back as a defensive system, and that's why he won't do it. Sell Saka for 150. You wouldn't get that for him, let's be honest. Mahrez is 31. Saka to City. You could see it happening, man. Right wing, Man City. You could see it. Ash said, Origi all day long, Curtis. Great option to get off the bench. I'll be more confident if we had him in the team right now. Sometimes we have to remember what we've got before we turn things down. We've got Eddie Nketiah coming off the bench right now. He wouldn't get in any starting lineup in the Premier League. Origi would be a big upgrade on him. I personally would love to see Arsenal go for Sterling in the summer. But I don't think we could get him if we weren't in the Champions League. Desmond said, I would bring in Origi. Arsenal fans are just too prideful. They said Coutinho wasn't good enough. Now, look, did you see Coutinho's goal the other day for Brazil? 30-yarder, top corner. Let's be honest, he would walk in the Arsenal team. I think he's a better number 10 than Odegaard. But maybe we just didn't have space for Coutinho. Costa said, Big C, apparently Liverpool has a year option on Origi. Maybe they'll activate it then, to be honest. Seriously, we need a striker like Aubameyang when he was at his best. Is there even such strikers available? Does not grow on trees and the cost will be huge. That's the problem. Good strikers now, you're looking at 100 million. You're paying 70 million for potential now. We paid 56 million for Aubameyang. He just scored over 30 goals the year before. The game has changed. Painful to see the Rams in the Super Bowl. Yeah, Arsenal didn't sign anyone. Yeah, you know where his priorities lie. Over 2.9k watching. Hit the likes. I'll be out of here in a couple of minutes, people. We've been on for an hour and 7. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe. Tommy apparently is injured at the moment. Hopefully he's available, though, for the game next Thursday. We've still got a week. Sterling and Jonathan David would be a great summer. Osimhen, Bellingham and Sarr. That's probably 200 million. I think Bellingham is being linked with Liverpool. Origi and Jonathan David, I'll be all over that. 100 million for Saka. I think you could get him for less than that. I got to be honest. I think 70, 80 million, the club would listen. When you're buying strikers from different leagues and they're scoring 25 goals in their leagues, you need to cut that down to 15. EPL is different. A lot of the time it is. Not many continue their numbers from those leagues and carry on in the Prem. Curtis, would you take Dybala? Now, that would be an interesting one. He is out of contract in the summer and apparently doesn't want to sign a new deal. He'll end up at a big, big club this summer, Dybala. But again, no Champions League, you ain't getting him. Josh said, will you be doing any neutral watch-alongs? Yeah, this weekend, people, we'll do 1 or 2 watch-alongs, obviously, with Arsenal not playing. We're going to start doing that again. Maybe we'll do the AFCON final. And maybe we'll do a FA Cup game as well. Big up to each and every one of you for tuning in today. We've been on for an hour and 10 minutes. Nearly 3,000 of you in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video. If we buy 2 strikers this summer, who would you buy? Comment on this video when it finishes. Give me realistic names. I don't see the club buying, a 70 million pound striker and then buying another one. They'll buy a cheap one and an expensive one. For me, go and get someone like Lautaro Martinez, Patrick Schick, or, somebody like that. And then I would go and get somebody like an Origi from Liverpool as a backup. But let me know your thoughts. Give me your names of your strikers. And people saying that Lacazette has made a farewell comment now to Aubameyang. I'm just trying to see that before we get out of here. Let me just check. Lacazette. Has he put that? No, yeah, he has. Oh, man. They're like bad boys, man. It's like Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. He said, my bro, thanks for the last 4 years. My experience in Arsenal would have been different without you. Wish you good luck in your next chapter. See you soon. Look at them. Brothers in arms, man. Maybe we should have played them as a 2 more often than not, people. Just to finish with the poll, by the way, 59% of you said Calvert-Lewin and 41% of you said Alexander Isak. That's a sad picture, man. That is a sad picture. I'm not going to lie. If only we'd have built around them. But it is what it is. Big up to each and every one of you for tuning in. Thank you very much for your support. I'll be back again at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, people. And I will see you all soon. Bless.